Welcome, Pisces. Your in-depth astrology overview for week commencing the 13th of July for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. Going to share the big themes of the week ahead first. On screen, your event chart. I'll unpack that. I'll then go through each of the influences in detail. By the end of the video, you'll have a clear picture of what's upcoming in terms of your energy, work, relationships, or finances. Thank you so much for joining me, astrologer Patrick Arundell. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. It's a week when we have a new moon, but it's a new moon in your sister water sign of Cancer, which is very much to do with intuition, nurture, and protectiveness. But for you, it's your fifth house, and that's an opportunity to enjoy yourself, step up your social interaction. But Mercury, which can be very mischievous in the fifth house, has been in Cancer for a while and been retracing its steps. And that retrograde may have been a cause of some glitches and tangles. But Mercury meets the Sun on Monday in a cazimi, and that gives you an opportunity to cut through and really get a clearer picture of where things are. But there is a clash between Venus and Uranus on Monday, exactly, and that hangs around through to Thursday. What's that about? Venus is in your sector of relating. How will Uranus impact on her? And as the week draws to a close for us all collectively, a huge amount of air and fire energy creates a unique skyscape unseen before. But what will that hold for you, Pisces? So on the screen, your event chart. So let's first of all look at the two luminaries of the moon and the sun. So at midnight on Monday, we move into the new week and the moon has just inched into its home sign of Cancer. So clearly loves to be here. And we'll meet with the sun, if you like, in a moon cazimi on Tuesday, but not before the sun steps forwards and the retreating Mercury meets the sun on Monday. Now, the fifth house can be very much to do with life pleasures, mixing and mingling, showcasing your unique and brilliant talents. If you have kids and they're busy with their activities, it's also an area where you can enjoy their achievements too. But as I mentioned, Mercury's retrograde may have been a bit tricky. Perhaps it's been a date that didn't quite flow as you would have liked. Perhaps it's to do with something that you're very passionate about that hasn't quite gained the traction you would hope. Now, Mercury is going to come out of that retrograde on the 23rd of this month, and things will speed up. But what you get with the inferior conjunction, as it's known, the fourth conjunction between them that's exact of the year, the cazimis, is a chance just to be a little bit more uh, detached. And the radiance of the sun warms into Mercury's energies in a very productive way. So even if you have been feeling a bit a bit frustrated, I think it can start to resolve. And I think the new moon is a real brilliant opportunity for you to dazzle people with your charisma for sure. But what about that Venus position? Well, for you, she's in a great location because she really talks to the concept of harmony. Nothing is perfect in life, but if we celebrate the things we have in common rather than focusing on what makes us different, then that can be very valuable. And that's what Venus helps you to do through to the end of the first week of August. But Venus in the seventh house, despite not being at her best in Virgo itself, can also be a time when we connect to people and in a very potentially positive way, new relationships. But in an existing relationship, Uranus's square to Venus suggests that if you're feeling a bit on edge, home life is perhaps not quite as you would like, maybe got a lot on your plate looking after those kids or older parents, or there's a lot of work to do. It could make you a bit tetchy in that square with Venus, and that could see some cross words exchanged. But just know as this week goes on, both Uranus and Mars in that fourth house are linking back in an incredibly positive way to other influences. And that's how astrology goes, you know. We get competing influences and also influences that start off being quite challenging, can evolve over a matter of days. So what happens is Mars moves forwards and links back to Saturn. And I think that aspect, particularly if you're making some physical changes to where you live, can see you motivated, but also drive a project over the finishing line. Whereas Uranus by Sunday is linking fabulously well to Jupiter, but also to Neptune and Pluto. And as I mentioned, it's an extremely rare skyscape. But if you think of the elements, air is about communication, fire is about passion. But for you, because Pluto is in that 12th house, as I have been mentioning for a while, it's about you digging down deep into your resources because there's a lot there, a lot of accumulated knowledge, wisdom, experience, and a lot of it with you comes from instinct. So if there are things that come up for you that appeal to you, do be guided by that sixth sense. It's very unlikely to let you down. I'm going to summarize those 4 areas of vitality, work, relationships, and finances next, Pisces. Just before I do, to say I've slashed the price of my personal horoscope reports. They're now 3 for the price of 1. And on the forecast, it's not just to the end of 26, it's also through to the end of 27, free. And you get your life roadmap report. That's to understand our life patterns and your draconic soul karmic analysis. Please see below for more. I've also produced a video for the last 6 months of the year as a wide angle overview, if you like, from the midpoint of the year, calendar year is the 2nd of July. I look at the solar return at the 1st of January, but also I'm looking at the solar eclipse and also the lunar eclipse in your zodiac sign on the 28th of August, the shift of the nodes, and also Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, pardon me, towards the end of October. So a big deep dive, please check that out by clicking on the italic eye on the screen, but I will put the link under the video too. If you would like to work with me one-to-one or sign up for your free natal, pardon me, your free daily written horoscope, please see the link beneath this video. So to summarize, energy. Well, if we're talking about neat energy, Jupiter in the 6th house could be very good for your vitality over the next year. That's your traditional ruler. This week, if you're a crafter or a maker, do you know the link back to Neptune could be turning a hobby into something that can earn you some extra money, and that actually can give your physical vitality a lift. I think your emotional energy could be a little bit up and down, to be honest, particularly if you're living somewhere that's a bit cramped or maybe noisy, too quiet. You've got neighbours who are inconsiderate. All these things could actually impact on you more. So your emotional energy could be a little choppy. When it comes to relationships, the 5th house, if you're single, at the new moon and the Cazimi, is really urging you to connect and enjoy pleasure, accept invitations, invite people around, get out with a group of friends and enjoy yourself because it can actually bring some real opportunities. But in terms of an ongoing relationship, Venus in the 7th house clashing with Uranus, maybe there's going to be some crosswords, but try to get beyond it because Venus will bring you rewards if you can keep things on an even keel through to the end of the first week of August. As far as money, while Saturn in the 2nd, as I've been mentioning for some more, requires great discipline, but it doesn't mean to say you can't be rewarded. Mars is about thrust. As it moves forwards in your 4th house, if you do have a home-based enterprise, that link back to Saturn could mean that your determination, especially if you're offering a service in your local community, that actually can bring you a reward. Neptune in the 2nd house, as I mentioned in the link with Jupiter, great for any crafting or making or any artistic endeavor. But what I think I love about this week most of all for you, Pisces, is giving you the confidence to go forwards in a very dynamic way. Because although the new moon and the Cazimi are in the feeling and emotional sign of Cancer, for you, they're in the 5th house. And that's about you sharing the very best of your talents and your personality. Have a great week, all the best, and hopefully look forward to seeing you again soon.